And welcome to Sophy Ridge on Sunday. Now, when it comes to Brexit, there's a lot that divides, but the one thing that seems to unite is that everyone would rather delay than make a decision, whether it's the government, MPs, and now the European Union, who this week agreed to delay Brexit until the end of October. With the pressure easing off, MPs have headed home for Easter, and we can turn our attention to other things, such as what to do with the WikiLeaks founder, Julian Assange. We will be talking about that a little later in the programme with his lawyer, Jennifer Robinson. But don't worry, we'll still get our regular Brexit fix with guests including Ian Duncan-Smith and Anna Soubry coming up. Now, the Brexit delay means that the UK will probably take part in European elections, elections that could see a breakthrough for some of Britain's newer political parties. One of those is Change UK, or the independent group, and their Brexit spokesperson, Anna Soubry, will be on the programme very shortly to speak with her. Now, what we can do is show you a little bit of the challenge that the new parties face when it comes to those European elections. We can have a quick look at some of the latest polling when it comes to how people are intending to vote when it comes to the EU Parliament elections. You can see there Labour are topping the polls there on 24%. This is according to YouGov polling done on the 10th and 11th of April. In second place, it is the Conservatives on 16%. And then the Brexit Party, that's Nigel Farage's new party on 15%, followed by UKIP on 14%, the Lib Dems on 8%, the Greens on 8%, and Change UK on 7%. Let's talk about some of those findings with Anna Soubry, who joins us now in the studio. Thank you very much for being with us this morning.
I was going to say absolute pleasure, but it is early. Well, I've been up early. It's not. You've been up even longer. Anyway, go on.
Well, anyway, we're here now. This is good news. What is the slightly less good news is the polling for Change UK when it comes to the European elections, 7%. Are you a bit disappointed?
Well, just two things. First of all, of course, we're not even a political party. So for Change UK already to resonate with people, especially as I think a lot of people know us as TIG. And so I think that was my second point, was that I think we're known more as the Tiggers than Change UK. So I'd like to see some polling with TIG, because when we sort of launched, or when we came together, actually our polling was amazing. We were up to something like 11, 12%.
Has it been hard to keep the momentum going?
Not really. I mean, look, the whole of Brexit, the Brexit thing, of course, dominates everything. And, of course, certain parts of Brexit are going to be absolutely the headline story, and understandably. But I think there's a solid consistency there for us. And as I say, we're not even a party. And I think that as hopefully we form a political party, which is obviously our intention, and we will field candidates across the whole of Great Britain, I think people...
Including at the local elections as well?
No, far too late for local elections. Far too late. The nominations closed about 2 weeks ago. But in any event, we're not in a position to be able to do that. But the European Parliament elections, you bet. And I think that it'll be a real opportunity for people to get to know more about us. But then a lot of people already know a lot about us. They know that we believe in that second referendum, a people's vote. So we want that re-vote. I think people know that we want us to remain in the European Union, the best deal that our country has. And of course, we're a party of change, of reform, not just in the UK, but across the way that we do politics in the European Union as well. And we've got to be part, if we're successful, of that reform that needs to take place in the European Union.
When you look at the polling and you see still muddling along with, the Lib Dems, the Green Party, do you think that actually, strategically in the long term, you're going to have to start to doing a few more alliances, working together with other parties like the Lib Dems?
But we do anyway. I mean,
Although at the beginning you were very clear in saying that you're not going to be associated with them,
No, we are we will be, hopefully, a political party in our own right. And we very much want people to come and join us. To give their support to us and be part of Change UK, be part of the independent group. And in terms of working together in Parliament, I mean, that's been one of the features of Brexit, and that's actually what brought people like me and Chuka Umunna and Chris Leslie and others together, was our work on Brexit, our work for a people's vote, our concerns about the future of our country. And we already work with the Lib Dems, with Plaid Cymru, with Green, with Caroline Lucas, with the SNP in any event on Brexit. But I very much hope people will come and join us, because we need that change in British politics. And I think that includes all the political parties, not just the main two political parties.
Nigel Farage's Brexit party unveiled quite a high-profile supporter this week in the sister of Jacob Rees-Mogg.
They talk of nobody else in Broxtowe. Sorry, I'm not being rude, but I just don't think, you know, most people have heard.
Well, come on then. Have you got anyone up your sleeve that is going to be joining you what you hope will be a political party? Any high-profile candidates?
All I can say is genuinely, I am. We are overwhelmed by the number of people who've applied to stand as a member of Change UK.
Anyone we might have heard of?
I can't. I mean, I'd love to, but I can't, because actually we'd be breaching their confidence, because we're going through what is a huge selection procedure. But I mean, we are talking about people from all backgrounds, right across the country, from people who've never been involved in politics before, but have joined us because of their concerns about Brexit and their support for a people's vote, and they know that the best deal we have is the current deal with the EU, right the way through to some names that I went, my goodness me, he or she wants to stand for the European...
Oh, come on, such a tease.
I can't. No, actually, genuinely would be a breach of their confidence. But if some of those people are successful, then you can be sure you'll know who they are. But genuinely, it's amazing.
OK, well, we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait to see if we all think it's amazing.
Our nominations close tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
OK.
But you can only... This is really important. I mean, obviously, people do have a passion for remaining in the European Union, a lot of people.
And a lot of people have a passion for leaving as well.
Yeah, but it's changing, Sophie. I mean, I was out in Nottingham yesterday, as I often do, with the People's Vote. And what's really striking is that people are beginning to change their minds.
Do you think that's right? Because part of me thinks that actually people are becoming more entrenched in their positions, whether it's on the Remain side, you know, wanting to revoke, wanting to stay in, or on the Leave side, people are saying, actually, no, I want to leave with no deal.
I don't disagree with you. You're right that there's an entrenchment at those edges. But what's really striking are those people, either Remainers who said, no, accept the referendum result, we don't want another re-vote on it. They're changing their minds. But strikingly, older people, and I met a number yesterday in Nottingham who said, you know what, I voted Leave. And they told me why. And then they said, I've changed my mind. Want a People's Vote because I've listened to my children and my grandchildren. And it's about their future. And whichever way you cut Brexit, we're going to be damaging their future. So there is a movement. And actually, that's why I hope we do get that People's Vote. Confirm, revoke, call it what you will.
Call it a second referendum.
Call it what you want. We all know what it means. And it's that chance for people to change their minds now they know what Brexit looks like. And also for young people who'll bear the brunt of Brexit to have their say and their voice. But people want to be MEPs, but they've got to realise it's a proper full-time commitment if you get elected, because they could be there for 5 years, they could be there for 5 weeks, 5 months, who knows?
While I've got you as well, it's a couple of months now since you left the Conservative Party. Are you feeling any kind of pangs of, you know, regret, or are you missing it a bit?
I have to say, I have never felt so sure about anything. And almost every day, especially when I sit in Parliament and I look at the benches opposite, and of course it's an entirely different view. And, you know, frankly, I listen to people like Mark Francois, who is now seen as being the voice of conservatism, Jacob Rees-Mogg, Boris Johnson and the rest of them. I'm afraid the Tory party is the Brexit party. And One Nation Tories like me, they can't stay. And it's moving to the right. And if someone like Boris Johnson or Dominic Raab becomes the next leader, the next Prime Minister, it will absolutely be that real understanding that it's gone towards the more extremes of the right.
Because I've spoken to, you know, a lot of Conservative MPs over the last couple of months about, you know, the Tiggers, if you like, and a lot of them say, look, Sarah Wollaston, Heidi Allen, they were never real Conservatives, but Anna Soubry, she was a proper Tory. What, don't you feel that? No?
I'm me, and my values, I mean, people might think it's sad, but my values and my principles have pretty much not changed over 40 years.
So you think the Conservative
Tory party that's changed? Oh, yes, hugely. Absolutely hugely. And now, I mean, look at it now, and look at it how it was in 2010-15. So in that government, which I served in 2010 to 2015, we were in a coalition with the Lib Dems. Now, the Conservative Party is in hock to the DUP. I think that says everything about the shift. But can I just say about Heidi and Sarah, it's actually quite... It's not for me to speak on their behalf, but Actually, Heidi and Sarah, who were people who've done other things before, well, like me, before they came into Parliament, but, you know, Sarah in particular, you know, was selected in that open primary. Heidi, who read astrophysics, who's run a family business with bucket loads to offer and was embraced by the Conservative Party. If the Tories can't win and keep hold of people like that, then they've absolutely lost that centre ground. And that's our point. It's the party that's changed, not us as individuals. And as people like me have worked with people like Chuka and Chris Leslie and Luciana Berger over Brexit in particular, I find my values, my principles, I feel much more at home with people like Chuka and Chris and Luciana and the others than I have felt in the Tory party, especially since 2016 when Theresa May got elected as Prime Minister. And she made that terrible speech, in my opinion, talking about citizens of the world as citizens of nowhere,
Are you a citizen
dismissing
of nowhere, then?
Remainers as liberal metropolitan elite, which was a nonsense,
Okay.
and then calling EU citizens queue jumpers.
Okay.
It's the party that's changed, not me.